She's a high-class ship that offers the adventure of a lifetime.
That's the price you have to pay when you want to go to other places.
Not even her crew knows what will happen next.
Don't like the situation.
On this journey, she'll travel back in time, off the beaten track, to destinations where prehistoric creatures roam.
Komodo is top predator.
Le Soleal sets sail for unfamiliar waters, where other cruise ships rarely venture. Le Soleal is a brand new ship designed to explore secluded, out-of-the-way destinations. Remote waters are her playground. She can carry up to 264 passengers. Every one of them expects a personal experience. And they pay for it, up to $10,000 each. With that kind of price tag, the wow factors better add up. Boasting first-class dining, elegant staterooms, and superb facilities, Le Soleal is a floating chateau. She is French, after all. At 11,000 gross tons, Le Soleal is a compact cruiser. Just 142 meters in length, with a shallow draft, she negotiates tight channels and remote coves that larger ships could never reach. Thanks to her fleet of tender boats and zodiacs, guests can make it ashore at even daunting locations. And according to her captain, Le Soleal collects admirers wherever she roams.
First, you look at the ship. The design is unique. There is no other ship looking like this. And everybody noticed. So you are very proud, of course, to be on a ship which is beautifully unique.
The island of Bali is the starting point for Le Soleal's 14-day journey through one of the largest archipelagos on the planet. Indonesia consists of more than 17,000 islands. Less than half of them are inhabited. It's an exotic landscape of unique and diverse wildlife, rumbling volcanoes, and almost 55,000 kilometers of coastline. For this cruise, Le Soleal will sail east from Benoa, then north for a full day to reach Palopo. Returning south, she'll make 2 stops on the island of Flores. She'll visit Komodo Island and its famous dragons, then continue west to the volcanic Isle of Java before returning to Bali. It's a voyage of firsts. Le Soleal has never before traveled these waters, and all but one port will present a new test of the captain's skills.
That's the first time. You never know what is going to be the next day. Every day is a new challenge. So far, so good, I would say. It's always a very interesting job, every day.
It's raining, and that makes boarding a slow, soggy job. But the personal attention goes way beyond most cruise ships, with nearly 1 crew member for every passenger.
Bonjour monsieur, c'est bienvenue à bord.
Captain Genevaz is on deck to drive the point home.
The first impression is the most important. It's also important to make them know at the very beginning that the captain is always visible. Bonjour madame, bienvenue.
Bonjour madame.
While the captain offers up his personal touch,
So you can see we have these numbers.
Staff Captain Charbel de Air keeps his eye on the details.
Now we can see that the forward we have 4.7 at the as draft. As staff captain, I have the responsibility of the discipline. I can be also the bad boy. It's for the discipline when there is warning and there's something going wrong. I'm the right hand of the captain, so during the maneuver, sometimes to back up, do the communication. I'm responsible also about the safety, the security.
The staff captain also oversees the delicate operations they'll employ to get passengers safely ashore in remote Indonesian locations. Le Soleal is scheduled to leave at 11 p.m., but as the last few suitcases come aboard, there's a hitch. The airline has lost one piece of a family's luggage, and Dad is steamed. He demands the ship wait until the bag is recovered, delaying the entire voyage. Finding the lost bag falls to hotel manager Eric Noir.
Yes, 7 pieces out of 8. The one is missing. So that will be something. Let's see. Now we're going to please 5 people and one will scream. We're gonna see. Try to keep on smiling.
Only that two? Do you know if we got all of them? Missing one.
Check the numbers.
Eric confirms the bag is not in Indonesia. Where it is a total mystery.
It's a minor thing, but especially because it's only missing one bag for the whole family. It's a good story, except for this family who's very upset. But I'll get over it.
That one single suitcase delays the departure by a full half hour. But by 11:30 p.m., Captain Genevaz decides to move out. If found, the missing bag can be redirected to another port.
Port 10?
Port 10.
In the dead of night, Le Soleal slips out of Bali. By 6 a.m., the first destination is at hand. And the crew is up early to ready the ship's secret weapons. 12 Zodiacs, nimble inflatable boats intended to ferry passengers to otherwise inaccessible landings. But this morning, they're carrying crew members on a reconnaissance mission. Because the ship is not where she's supposed to be. Overnight, the weather has changed, bringing a severe swell. That makes the planned visit to a pristine beach at Tanjung On impossible. So Le Soleal is diverted to the nearby Gili Islands, a mystery destination to everyone on board. Cruise director Jérôme Pierre has less than 1 hour to find the perfect beach experience for his passengers, and he's never set foot here before.
Go and scout the nearest beach or the best beach that for the conditions and for the swell and everything, and then we decide if this beach is it's good enough for the passengers. Morning.
On shore, it's a bust. Jérôme finds only rustic beachfront cafes.
Morning. We'll bring some people.
He knows this won't pass muster with Le Soleal's demanding clientele. He has high standards to maintain, no matter what it costs.
You know, passengers, they usually after a bit more luxury. So I'm just looking for a spot where we could use, that has swimming pools and stuff like that.
On va aller voir là-bas, on va aller suivre les bateaux, parce que s'il y a les bateaux là-bas, ça a l'air d'être bien.
And the clock is ticking to find a solution. The luxury cruise ship Le Soleal is on her second day of a 2-week cruise to remote exotic islands in Indonesia. But the weather isn't cooperating. Monsoon swells have forced Captain Rémi Genevaz to divert away from the remote, pristine beach that was their first scheduled destination. Cruise director Jérôme Pierre is on the hunt for a picturesque alternative.
Yeah, 50 minutes. Good morning.
This hotel holds promise, if it pans out.
Let me check with my manager about this. Then.
Okay.
I'll let you know then. Are
When?
you going around?
But no, because in fact we're just waiting for your answer, and then we go back to the
So
ship.
just wait a second in 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This place is perfect. Even if it rains, they can be sheltered here. We've found the perfect spot, even though the approach is not easy. The place is good. Thank you very much.
Jérôme closes the deal.
Charbel, Jean.
Now he just has to bring his guests ashore. But unsettled weather is rolling in.
So you see the direction of the wind, and you look at the clouds. You reckon it's gonna come soon. So hopefully we'll hold until noon. That would be the idea.
Back on Le Soleal, Jerome and Captain Geneviève weigh their options for boarding the Zodiacs. Though the ship is positioned to block the wind, rolling seas still make boarding an ordeal.
We have quite a little bit of swell. It happens from time to time. The captain is gone to try to reposition the ship, so we have a bit less.
The trip ashore is just as rough. And soon after they arrive, the skies open with a Southeast Asian deluge.
Some of them, they came, they are happy because it's raining. Some of them not so happy, but we are doing our best. We have around 60 or 70 passengers ashore. I think the weather had a big part of this, that the passengers would like to go. And the swell, I hope, will be softer. We'll see.
After only an hour ashore, it's time to seek cover back aboard the ship. Jerome's last-minute excursion is a washout. Passengers return, hoping for a less drenching adventure in the days to come. Later that evening, the rain becomes a distant memory, with diners seduced by the cuisine of executive chef Philippe Tremel.
Okay, so I need 2 sole, 1 duck, 1 more sole. I mean, you have to manage, huh? Sometimes it's really like a big rush. You have to keep calm and concentrated because go very fast. Pick up 1 bavette, medium rare. Then after you have to make sure each plate it's complete. If it's not, you send it back and they do it again. Je vais avoir 2 canards appetizer.
Chef's gourmet dishes are complemented by attentive and elegant service in the dining room, under the watchful eye of maitre d' Frank de Silva.
What is important is to react right away, not when the dinner is finished. There is too late.
16 impeccably trained servers elevate the experience at every table.
You have to have a good team.
On the menu tonight, duck confit, tender sole, and steak grilled to perfection. The epitome of fine dining. It's a performance they will have to pull off for 3 meals a day, 14 days straight. Day 3. And dawn breaks on an urgent note. Eulalie Bach is the ship's second officer.
I just received a distress from MFHF.
An unknown vessel has broadcast an SOS. Her crew is in imminent danger.
To our ship, so all the ships in the area will receive this message, and we have the position here, latitude and longitude.
Le Soleal sails remote and risky waters all over the world. So her crew takes distress calls like this very seriously.
Tu dis si on est loin ou pas.
Maritime law dictates that the closest ship rush to the aid of any vessel in peril. If the distressed ship is nearby, Le Soleal's luxury cruise could become a rescue mission. Eulalie checks the ship's coordinates with Cadet Antoine Barnouan.
So it's way too far from here. 1,500 nautical miles from here.
It's hundreds of kilometers away, off the coast of Australia.
We're actually here, and the distress signal was on here, so southwest of Australia.
It's quite...
So way too far.
It would take Le Soleal over 4 days to reach her.
We receive message from the shore that they acknowledge the distress and they will make search and rescue, or I don't know. And for the moment we wait.
Word comes in. It will be up to Australian authorities to launch a rescue. And Le Soleal can return to her own luxury voyage. After a full day at sea, the ship nears her second port of call, Palopo, on the island of Sulawesi, a place known better to Westerners for its coffee than as a luxury cruise port.
C'est bon.
This harbor will put the captain's navigational skills to the test.
This is the first time I come. According to the chart, it's only 1 meter below the keel. That's all.
In these shallow, unfamiliar waters, he doesn't just rely on digital data that might lack detail. The captain cross-references everything with paper charts. It's confirmed. There is only a meter of water between the ship and the ocean floor. That's tricky. An encounter with an unmapped sandbar or reef could ground or cripple the ship. It has happened before. A few months ago, Le Soleal ran aground on an uncharted sandbar off Russia. The captain on board that cruise managed to float the ship off with no damage. But Captain Genevieve is determined that it not happen here on his watch.
But you never know what it's gonna be like exactly.
The captain and his entire bridge team are locked in total concentration.
I think that when you're approaching a pier like that, where you know that there is not much water below the keel, sometimes the ship can have some strange behavior, not as usual. It reacts differently. Hot meat?
No.
At this very moment, Le Soleal is just inching toward the pier.
Bosco, you keep the slack. You keep the slack of the spring.
Stop and position.
Everyone can breathe now. The captain has negotiated a textbook arrival without even a scratch. Passengers disembark. They're eager to encounter scenes untouched by time. And while they're gone, the crew gets to work, keeping the ravages of saltwater in check. It's a matter of pride for hotel manager Eric Noir.
Yes, it's cosmetic, but it's important. Because it looks not nice. As today we're alongside, and we have the right to paint. If they can do some touch-up, it's good.
The painters are not the only ones doing touch-ups.
Lukman?
Chief housekeeper Giovanna Tancredi oversees the cleaning of every one of the ship's luxurious staterooms, with a fine eye for every detail.
I love dusting, huh? So, yeah. Let's check the bathroom also. Always check the back of the mirror also, because when the guest touch, we always have fingerprints, the shelf. Still to be clean, huh? The bathtub, yes.
Okay.
Since they are moored at the pier, mechanic David Valentin takes the opportunity to work on the ship's tender boats, an unseen but critically important job.
I must keep all the time working, anytime, any hour, doesn't matter, they must work. It's very difficult because we don't have space to work, and all the parts are very hot.
Out-of-service tenders are not an option. In an emergency, they double as lifeboats, and without them, it takes a lot longer to get everyone ashore.
And we must have all the time two tender.
As night falls, passengers return to their luxurious floating hotel. Meanwhile, Le Soleal has drawn a crowd of local fans. In tiny Palopo, an opulent ship like this is a rare sight.
It's pretty unusual, but it's fun, really. I mean, it's yeah, it does not happen very often, but it's nice because you can see that it's coming from the heart. It's nice, really.
A fabulous send-off. But up ahead, there's another challenge to be faced. It's a place called Larantuka, on the eastern end of Flores Island. The channel leading to this tiny port town is dangerously narrow and poorly charted.
Port 10, sir.
But there's no harbor pilot to guide the ship safely through the maze. The team on the bridge has to tackle it alone. It's day 6 of Le Soleal's 2-week cruise through the Indonesian archipelago. On the horizon, Captain Remy Genevaz sizes up his next navigational challenge. The approach to Larantuka on the island of Flores. The only way in is through a tiny, poorly charted strait. Though Le Soleal is not a huge ship, she may be too big for this channel.
We don't have very accurate chart of this strait. The only thing I know for sure that if I keep the middle of the channel, I'm on the safe side.
The volcanic landscape here narrows the strait to just 650 meters, with submerged, unseen rocky outcroppings on either side. The pull of the tidal current is strongest at this narrow point. Drift off course, and the ship could run aground. The captain uses skill and instinct to read the channel, relying entirely on what he can see, and worrying about what he can't see. But this is exactly what his guests have signed up for.
Port 2.
An out-of-the-way destination most other cruisers will never experience.
200.
Helmsman Neil Pahila gingerly steers the ship into the narrow channel. That's when the battle with the current really begins.
As you can see, the ship is difficult to be kept on the right course. So we are now close to the most narrow passage between these two capes. As you can see, there are a lot of crossing traffic. Small boats. Port 5.
Port 5.
Moving at less than 5 knots, or 9 kilometers per hour, Le Soleal never deviates from the center of the channel.
Larantuka port control, Larantuka port control, this is motor vessel Le Soleal, Le Soleal. Do you read me over?
But as they arrive at the dock,
On fera dépasser l'avant et l'arrière. L'avant, l'arrière.
Oui, l'avant et l'arrière, tu auras 10 mètres en moins.
Et on équilibre.
there's bad news. The pier here is a weather-beaten hazard. Its rubber bumpers, called fenders, are either falling apart or missing altogether. The captain worries his pristine vessel is about to get roughed up.
The pier is in bad conditions, and the fender, half of them are almost destroyed, so we have to be very careful when you're approaching such a pier. When you have a brand new ship, you're taking care of the paint. So we made it.
With the ship tied up, executive chef Philippe Tremel heads out on a culinary adventure.
I go to markets, see if I can find some new stuff.
He's in search of memorable local products to spice up his menus.
You know, you meet local people, you bargain a little bit, it's fun.
And just maybe, he'll land the most coveted fish in these waters, an entire tuna.
How much to go to English? Bazar, bazar. Bye-bye. Ah voilà, ça c'est bien, ça c'est bien. Hello. How much 1 kilo? 1 kilo.
Berapa 1 kilo?
Yeah, big.
25.
25, okay, 2 kilos. 2 kilos. C'est un peu dur quand même.
The market is a treasure trove of fresh local greens.
Ça va pas aller. Cancun?
Cancun, also known as water spinach, has been on the chef's wish list since the voyage started.
Okay, give me 5 kilos.
5 kilos.
Épinards. Ça avec un peu de gingembre, ça goûte pas en chaud en fait. It's quite nice. Yeah. That's fine. We get some taro roots, some fish. Unfortunately, we didn't get any big tuna because they are all cut already.
This chef won't take chances on a fish sliced up by someone else. So his hunt for a whole fish will have to pick up at the next port of call. The next day, Le Soleal arrives at the port of Ende on the southern coast of Flores Island. Captain Remy Genevaz braces himself for yet another unknown, potentially hazardous port.
Actually, I don't know much because it's the first time, once again, that I'm coming to this harbor. I have few information about it. I only know that the pier is 75 meters long, which is not very long.
Measuring a tidy 142 meters, Le Soleal has room to spare at most docks. But she's nearly twice as long as the pier where she'll tie up next. And there's another problem. An uncharted buoy blocks the dock. It just might signal a dangerous underwater obstacle that could rip into the hull. As Le Soleal sails through remote Southeast Asian waters, every port is an adventure. After all, she was built for luxury thrill seekers. But that means the bridge team's skills are constantly tested. On this approach to Ende, Indonesia, Captain Remy Genevaz has encountered an uncharted buoy that just might mark danger below.
I don't know what is this buoy. I have no information about it. Not much space, huh? Out to port.
Out to port.
Very tight.
The captain was planning on bringing Le Soleal in bow first. But the buoy makes that maneuver impossible. He now decides to pivot the ship 180 degrees and parallel park her, slipping into the narrow gap between the buoy and the pier.
I'm swinging the ship on port side, and we're gonna then back to the pier.
Captain Genevaz guides her alongside the tiny pier with pinpoint precision.
It's always a bit uncomfortable when you don't know the whole story, when you...
Safely docked in Ende, there's a welcome surprise for Chef Philippe Tremel. The whole fresh fish he was seeking has come to him. It's not a tuna, but a wild grouper that exceeds Philippe's expectations.
See, it's red. Very red. The eyes is very nice. It's very, very fresh.
This catch of the day will take the place of honor on tonight's menu. Philippe sends the resourceful fishermen out for more. And there's more good luck.
The missing suitcase, rather.
A missing bag has finally caught up with the ship 6 days after departure.
It was left in Paris, actually. Went back to Amsterdam to Paris. Then they put it on the flight to Bali. Okay. And then our agent gave it to one of our representatives in Bali. And they flew it to another place that I can't remember the name. And then they had to drive 3 hours to bring it here. In the end, we got it before the end of the cruise. But the passenger are quite happy to get it.
With the weather improving, Le Soleal's unconventional voyage is looking up. After a full day's travel, the luxury ship will reach one of the highlights of the voyage, a visit to the land of dragons, Komodo Island. This is the day many have been waiting for. Komodo Island is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and home to one of the rarest and strangest beasts on the planet. Scientists believe these giant lizards date back to 4 million years ago. Only about 5,000 still walk the earth, and Komodo National Park is their one protected refuge. There are no fences or cages here, the Komodo Dragons roam freely. Visitors can get up close and personal with these carnivores, which are known to take down deer and the occasional human. Local handlers keep the giant reptiles at bay, but sticks are all that stand between them and the visitors.
So it's nice to see them there, but you at all times are aware that they can explode, right? And run to you, and you know, they can make a lot of damage. So it's a kind of a fear-like kind of experience. It's enjoyable, but at the same time, you have to be cautious.
The dragon handlers warn their guests that they must never let down their guard.
It's very be careful because the dragon almost sleeping look like, but suddenly they attack. But already have blood, so they follow the blood. Komodo is top predator. Komodo always the dangerous. Yeah.
What the passengers don't know is that the locals feed the Komodo dragons the day before, making them at least a little less hungry for human flesh. There's a second wonder awaiting the passengers on Komodo Island, one that isn't quite so dangerous.
Anybody for Pink Beach? Next stop, Pink Beach. You can't walk here, you have to come with a boat.
Pink Beach takes its name from the color of the crushed coral lining its shore.
Thrilling to know that you have big dragons a few meters away and they don't come here. So, well, they don't come here yet. So it's quite nice to have this.
Beneath these waters lies one of the most spectacular snorkeling experiences anywhere on Earth. Cruise director Jérôme Pierre and staff captain Charbel Daer plunge right in. Moments like this remind Jérôme why he has worked on cruise ships for 25 years.
From the start, there's some stressful moments, but then there's some pretty awesome ones as well. So that's what keeps us going. Once you're used to this and your children are used to seeing you leave and come back, it's fine. So it's going to be a beautiful day.
On land and underwater, this day is all about making memories.
It's amazing to see how many fishes we can see just by snorkeling. We just see a turtle and some calamaris as well, and the trumpet fishes. Well, it's like being in a live aquarium.
And after a day in nature's wonderland, more elegant shipboard pampering. From Komodo Island, Le Soleal has a 36-hour journey to her next destination, Probolinggo on East Java, to one of the world's most active volcanoes, Mount Bromo. In an isolated location like this, logistics don't come easily for shore excursions manager Laure Kramarijas.
To organize, just have to try to do the best. So sometimes you just think then you have a big bus and you have a small bus, and after that the guy doesn't speak French, he speaks German, you don't know why. And but everything looks sunny today, so everything goes well for the moment, and we will see after. No, that's good.
Numéro 4.
It's a hectic half hour, making sure each of the 100 guests gets on the right bus.
Let's go. Yes, now we go. Fortunately, everybody is here on time, more or less.
The drive to the volcano is just 50 kilometers, but it takes more than 2 hours to traverse the steep and twisting route. At the foot of the volcano, passengers transfer to jeeps. Then the trip continues on horseback. Finally, it's a steep, demanding climb to the top, on foot.
The horse riding was super. I hadn't ridden a horse for about 20 years, but they helped me on the horse. And I don't think there are 200 steps. I only counted about 150 steps. And I would recommend it. The view at the top is well worth coming.
Bromo has erupted 3 times in the last decade. Today, it just rumbles and grumbles, spewing smoke. Passengers old and young experience sights and sounds that they will never forget.
It was very tiring, but she wouldn't stop the whole way. So she dragged me up. It was amazing feeling up there. It was quite eerie, but quite sensational. And yes, we had fun.
Le Soleal's excursions off the beaten track seem to be going perfectly. But that run of good luck is about to change. Le Soleal promises her passengers will venture to raw, unspoiled places other cruise lines rarely visit. But raw also means tricky landings in tough conditions. On day 11 of her luxury expedition to Indonesia, Captain Remy Genevaz comes up against 3-meter swells. So he's forced to divert a planned landing, looking instead for a more sheltered port.
That is the reason why we have decided to reposition the ship here on the north coast, where we are sheltered from the swell coming like this.
On this side of the island, they are much further from the attractions on shore. Still, it's safer than fighting the swells.
Trying to figure out what would be the best side of the bay to find the right place for dropping anchor.
The water here is too deep to drop the anchor. But closer to shore, the ocean floor may rise dramatically, and the ship could bottom out.
We don't have very short. The chart is not accurate. Here we have still nearly 200 meters of water.
A critical decision has to be made.
Yes, we are not almost positioned, but not confirmed.
Figure out a safe place to anchor the ship in unknown waters, or scrap the trip ashore altogether. Leaving the ship with a boatload of very unhappy guests.
At this point, I think that we cannot drop anchor. I mean, so far we cannot drop anchor because I have no accurate chart. I cannot go closer.
Only a close-up examination will reveal if this harbor poses any threats to Le Soleal. So Staff Captain Charbel de Air heads out on reconnaissance.
Don't like this situation.
Charbel's instincts are correct. This harbor is much too shallow for Le Soleal.
Zodiac,
His advice to the captain, stay put. But they still need to figure out how to get the passengers safely ashore. There is a pier here, which might mean they can use the larger tender boats to bring passengers ashore, high and dry. But when they bring a tender over on a test run, it's clear there are too many hazards in the water to use them.
We have this plastic thing which is stuck to the propeller, so we are trying to remove it. They don't want to remove their boat, even if we pay.
Jerome and Charbel must make do with the Zodiacs.
Well, we're going to try with the Zodiac to see what we can do because the ramp is quite steep, and so we have to make sure that we don't have anybody having wet feet but broken leg.
Yes, it's easy for us as seamen. We need to find for the passengers that we have. There's some of them 60 or 70 years old. And also we need to, for the moment, it's not a real expedition cruise. We need to try to find something comfortable for them and safe.
While Charbel deals with the logistics of getting passengers ashore, excursions manager Laura Cramaregis has had only a couple of hours to figure out how to get them inland for their excursion. she has to bus passengers to the other side of the island. Coming ashore may be more of an adventure than the guests expected as they tackle the precarious pier. But the crew employs extra care and a strong grip to get everyone safely on shore. Once again, Jerome and his team have pulled it off.
That's the price you have to pay when you want to do different things. Go to other places. And go to where other ships don't go. Doing this takes a lot of energy.
It's time for the payoff. A 2-hour trip inland to witness a rare and thrilling horseback ritual.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much again for your...
It's called Pasola. Opposing teams confront each other on horseback, wielding bamboo spears. They battle vigorously until blood is drawn. Local tradition says spilled blood fertilizes the rice crop. After a 6-hour excursion, it's another 2 hours by bus back to the shore, much later than originally planned. With night falling, Le Soleal's crew isn't taking any chances with that dodgy pier. So the tired guests must wait on the beach for the Zodiacs. And that might just make an already long day a lot longer. 50 people are waiting on a beach in a remote, uncharted harbor, eager to return to the cruise ship Le Soleal.
Excuse me, sir?
They can see the ship anchored just offshore. Her Zodiacs are their only means of transport back from the beach.
I wouldn't call it comfortable.
With night falling, the crew is working hard and hoping that everyone keeps their cool after a long day in the hot sun. As he keeps watch for weary stragglers, Staff Captain Charbel Daer counts the minutes until everyone is back on board.
At the end, now we are happy, everyone is happy. We still have 20 minutes to bring everybody home, and I will let you know if it's great.
Most cruise ships pride themselves on a voyage with no surprises. Not Le Soleal. The unpredictable, spontaneous moments are part of her charm.
It was fascinating. It made the whole trip much more fun. It was quite tricky, actually, but it was great fun. You go on there and you think, oh, now for a shower.
Of course, all that onboard care and attention goes a long way, as a day of adventure ends with a civilized touch.
This one is very nice, Burgundy.
A one-day sailing back to Bali, and Le Soleal readies for her next voyage.
It's okay, Bosco. Okay, yeah.
There's no such thing as a routine cruise on this ship. It's all about going with the flow.
We are now at anchorage, so you can come at the marina. You are more than welcome.
Okay, thank you.
The captain and crew work their magic, improvising and adapting to each unique excursion.
You imagine that we are paid, the people come, pay maybe $10,000 or $5,000 to do this cruise, and we are paid to do this. So I'm really in love with this ship and this type of cruise.
This company always tries to keep a little surprise effect on the cruise. Whether we're in Antarctica or doing the Northwest Passage or any expedition cruise, within this itinerary we keep open slots where we can actually do things like this.
Sailing into uncharted waters, exploring hidden coves, tackling unexpected challenges. That's the quest for Captain Rémi Génévaz.
You can get tired of this. I feel like really lucky because we got to go almost everywhere in the world and in some very remote areas where nobody goes. You don't do this kind of job without passion. That would be impossible.
For Le Soleal, a new adventure always awaits.